one thing that was really cool about BugBucksCon is that there was a lot of really awesome, actionable content that you could learn, but there was so much deeper content there.
Some things really came full circle. Believe in where you are. Believe that you are building your own legacy. Leave a name worth remembering.
Welcome to the BugBucks Podcast, a podcast designed to turn you into a bug money millionaire. This episode is brought to you by BugBucks Plus, the #1 training and education platform designed to help you build and scale your pest control company. I'm your host, Eric Bassett, and seated right next to me in the BugBucks Plus studio, my co-host, Jay Klaus. What's up, dude?
What's up, Eric? What's up, my bug bucksers? Dude, it feels cool to be here together in the studio, right?
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for everybody watching on YouTube, you might have noticed that we turned the backdrop back around to the podcast studio.
It's double-sided.
Yeah, it's magical, right?
Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah, this gray background is better on our skin tone.
Yeah, because that's what, that's the important part is the complexion, the skin tone here.
Yeah.
So,
We can thank Jana for that observation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Priorities. All right, before we dive into what we're going to be talking about today, just want to remind everybody listening, the best way to receive new episodes is by subscribing to our show on your preferred podcast platform like Apple, YouTube, Audible, or Spotify. If you love the show, please leave us a rating and a review. Make sure to check out our Facebook group, BugBucks Plus. That is BUGBUX Plus. We have the owners only group that has over 4,900 other pest control owners waiting to connect with you and share their thoughts. We also have the BugBucks Pest Pros group for non-owner team members designed to help them develop in their roles. Joining those groups is the best way to connect with us, share your feedback on our show, and have your questions highlighted and discussed here on the podcast. So make sure you find us on Facebook and join one of the groups.
Dude.
All right, man.
Okay. Man, I'm still reeling.
I know.
Oof.
Okay, so we just had, for the first time, BugBucksCon in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you guys listening, if you were there, thank you guys so much for being there. It was such a killer time.
Yeah, the attendance was awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit of behind the scenes for you guys. So when we were first talking about doing this, number one,
we've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah,
about
it's been
a year or so.
Yeah, we're like, hey, we should do an event. Should we do an event? I don't know. And it was funny because we always kind of put it off a little bit. Like there was always something else going on that we're like, I don't think we have time. It takes a lot of time and energy, resources, all these other things.
Yeah.
And we got to February or whatever it was, like beginning of February or something.
I think it was the beginning of February. No,
end of January.
End of January, yeah.
And finally we're like, let's just do it. Let's just pull the trigger on this event. When are we going to do it? March 7th. How far away is that? 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
Great. Let's go, So it was a really quick thing, really quick decision, and we had to do so many things to make sure that it worked. Shout out to Hunter.
Dude, Hunter was the man behind the curtain, the wizard behind the curtain with that. Dude, he made it happen.
The operator extraordinaire.
Yep, yeah.
Yeah, he went out and found a killer venue, figured out all the information, the BugBucksCon sticker.
Yeah,
that was it was a team effort, but Hunter got it printed out.
I only came away with only one sticker.
Same here, dude. It's right here on the shaker bottle.
It was so busy the whole time I got on the plane, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't grab any stickers.
Like, hang on a second, what's going on here?
It's my own event. I didn't get a sticker.
Yeah. So, we rushed to get speakers. We rushed to get vendors. We got all of our stuff squared away. And when it came to the day of, it was killer.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yep.
We expected 50 people, I think. We ended up having 70-something.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to keep it intentionally small.
Exactly.
This first time. We didn't want it to be a massive, huge event. We wanted to keep it 60 to 75 people.
Mm-hmm. We intentionally were limiting the size because it was our first one. We weren't
and
really
if it was
sure
a train wreck, we didn't want a train wreck in front of hundreds of people, right?
Right? 100%.
Yeah.
So the speakers were good. It was awesome. We're going to actually walk through kind of our program schedule and talk a little about it, too.
Before we get there, let me just say, the attendance, it was so well attended, and we had PCOs from literally every corner of the country.
Yeah.
We had PCOs from Albany, New York, Connecticut. We had guys from South Carolina, Florida. Mm-hmm. We had guys that woke up at the middle of the night and got in their cars and drove from LA. You had guys from all over the place. You had us from the Northwest. I mean, we're literally covering every corner of the United States. and then in between, and then a whole bunch of PCOs that were from Arizona, which was super awesome.
Yeah.
Because we got to spend a lot of time with those guys. So I have one regret though. My one regret was I was emceeing the event, and like obviously we're running the event.
Yep.
So I wanted to like get a chance to talk to every attendee individually and like personally, but I just didn't. I couldn't get to it.
No.
I was like, we need one more day of like just socializing so that we can get to talk to everybody, especially the guys that came from super far away. Like when we got on the plane, I was like, I feel sick about this.
Yeah, dude.
Like I didn't get to talk to, and in my mind, I'm thinking about all the guys I didn't spend enough time with.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there was, you were running around emceeing everything. Jana was running around. I was working cameras. Hunter was working cameras. We were doing everything with switching the mics and the headsets and like all the behind the scenes stuff, which was crazy. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Which that playlist
was it good?
Killer,
dude. Nobody
So
said anything.
good.
I liked it.
That's because it was awesome.
I spent hours putting together that playlist.
Dude, the playlist was cool. See, here's how you know the playlist was cool, because nobody said anything. If it's bad, that's when people talk about the playlist.
Yeah, well, that's why I intentionally did not choose country music on the playlist, because
Smart man.
Yeah, I didn't want to piss anybody off.
Playlist was great.
Yeah.
Another big shout out to Firehouse Pest in Arizona.
Oh yeah,
Who helped us with the taco truck at the end of the evening.
Yep, Eric and Colton. Dude, that was rad. And they brought their families. Dude, that was awesome. Colton or Eric actually. So Eric and I, we have a kindred brotherhood or whatever, because he's a firefighter and I get to pretend to be a firefighter sometimes, and so he actually brought me one of his duty shirts.
Oh, awesome! Dude.
Yeah, like it's the real like duty shirt, and I mean Eric is an XL. And I'm a medium, so I'm like swimming in it, but still, dude, it's freaking dope. Like I'm
That's
excited
awesome,
about
dude.
that. Yeah,
So good. Yeah,
Yep.
so many cool people there from.
By the
all
time
over
I went to
place.
get a taco, the taco truck was gone.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
Dude, I was like starving. I was like caught up in conversations. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go get a taco truck. I walk out the back door, vacant, and I was like, no.
Well, what's crazy is, dude, we were there from like 7:30 a.m. to after 8 or something.
It was at least 7. We were there for 12 hours. I think.
Yeah, dude, it was a long day.
Yeah.
Worth it though.
Yeah.
So
I had half a
so
sandwich and a
worth
salad.
it. And then we had steaks afterwards.
Then we had steaks. Yeah, well, you guys had steaks. I had a fat burger.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Yeah, just what I needed.
Yeah, dude. And then after that, you went freaking scorpion hunting.
Oh, dude.
Wild.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I'll just drop this right now. So after it's done, some of the guys, it was awesome. It was Travis Bottoms, Casey Jones was there, Kevin Reif, Gene Navarro, and Beto Cortez. They were like, at the event, they're like, do you guys want to go scorpion hunting? And I was like, let me check with my wife, And so afterwards, we were like, you only get the chance to do this one time. So we went out, it was like 11 o'clock at night. And Travis Bottoms had this spot where he's like, I know this place, we're going to go scorpion hunting. It's like right in the middle of a neighborhood. And so we're like, it's 11 o'clock at night, dude, and we're tromping around literally in people's yards. When I say in people's yards, I don't mean like next, I mean like we're in people's yards, like feet away from their house. And we're yelling, hey, I got one over here. We're like middle of the night, we're like yelling at the top of our lungs, not being quiet at all. And I was like, dude, are we going to get shot? Like, you can't do this in Southwest Washington,
Yeah.
And they're like, no, dude. Everybody knows what we're doing. We're out here scorpion hunting. I was like, all right, cool. So we caught a bunch of scorpions. It was a blast. Travis cut the stinger off one of the scorpions so we could hold it. And with some coaxing and some reassurance that everything would be okay, Jana finally actually held the scorpion.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, when they asked me if I wanted to go, because the whole group of them, right? Like the whole group of guys came by that camera that I was manning.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Dude, we're going scorpion hunting later. Like, you should come." And I was like, "Bro, I can't. There's no way." Like I had no juice left in the tank, dude.
Yeah.
But seeing the pictures that you guys took from it, like, so cool, dude.
Yeah,
so cool.
Well, we told them, yeah, Eric needs his wubby. And a sweepy time.
Yeah, dude.
So Eric went to bed.
It made me feel so old, because like usually your buddy's like, bro, we're gonna go do this cool thing late at night. You want to come with us? And usually I'm like, yeah, let's go. And this time I was like, nah, dude. Like,
well, you know what? You know what's fun? When you hit a scorpion with a black light, they turn bright neon green. and they look so fun. Like you say, they look like gummies. I mean, they literally glow bright green.
Yeah.
And so, scorpions are terrifying. I freaking hate scorpions. They're so scary. But when they are glowing green, they look cute and friendly.
Fair enough. All right, cool.
But you can't let them deceive you. They will still sting you. It will still hurt.
Next time I will go with you guys.
Oh yeah, there will be a next time.
There will be.
There will be.
All right, dude. Well, I think it'd be a really awesome opportunity. We're not going to give away everything, but we are going to kind of go through the speaker lineup that we had at BugBucksCon and just kind of drop some love and some thanks for the speakers that we had, and a little bit of information on some of the stuff that they shared with us at the event. But if you guys really want to see their speeches and their presentations in its entirety, we're going to be uploading all of the footage to the bugbucksplus.com educational platform. So if you needed an excuse to subscribe to the platform, now you've got one.
Here it is.
It's going to be killer.
Just subscribe.
100%.
Do it already.
Just go for it.
Do it.
Okay, so let's go through some of these. The first speaker that we had, of course, the grandfather of BugBucks, right?
The patriarch of BugBucks.
Yeah, dude. Alan Draper from Proof Pest Control, and all these other companies that we've already talked about.
Et al.
Yep. So, one thing that I really liked about Alan's presentation, one is that he has a bigger, longer version of it that he actually did at Hood River the week before. Yeah. And he just went through all these different ways, switching paradigms on how to build wealth and how to grow personally and being worthy of wealth, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he had to kind of slim it down a little bit for BugBucksCon.
Yeah. But
still just so powerful, dude.
It was. And, the great thing is that Alan, like so many of us, we grew up broke. I don't know that a lot of real successful people come from like super rich families.
Yep.
Usually it's like, we're broke. And Alan shared his story. 7 kids, 3-bedroom, 1-bath house in Nyssa, Oregon.
Slept on the floor with his brother.
Slept on the floor. Yeah, I mean, just like, dude, Alan grew up freaking broke.
Yeah.
And then, so he had to have some paradigm shifts, and he discovered the secrets of those paradigm shifts. And so he's got this presentation, 10 Laws That Govern Wealth, and he's only able to get through part of it at BugBucksCon. But, dude, his whole presentation is so great.
It's killer.
It's so good.
Yeah, dude. Well, and we'll give you a little snippet, right? Like the first law, you have to believe that you're worthy of wealth.
Yeah.
And like you think that you are until you start unpacking a lot of that, and you like listen to his presentation and you listen to his experience and you think about what you've heard about money. Your family, your parents, all these other things, like is money evil, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you start unpacking things and you're like, whoa, dude, are there things at play in the back of my mind that I never really thought about that are actually limiting me from going out and getting the wealth that I want?
Yeah.
Great presentation, dude.
And you know what? It opened my eyes too, because I grew up in a family, like my family, we didn't have money. My dad was a security guard. My mom was a secretary at a foot doctor, a podiatrist's office. And, we didn't have money growing up. And, in fact, we were a powdered milk family.
Nice. Yep.
If anybody out there, powdered milk. Anyway, that's how I grew up too. And at the beginning of like selling door to door and beginning of starting our company, I did have some of that limiting mindset. Like, is this really, can I have this? Can I make money? Is it okay for me to make lots of money? Is it okay for me to try to be quote unquote rich,
Yeah.
And so I had that poor man mentality, I think, and I had to overcome that as well. So hearing Alan talk about this, it really hit home for me too.
100%, dude. Yeah. And I think, we might be putting Alan's full presentation from Hood River up on bugbucksplus.com.
Yeah, because he's got the whole thing there. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I know, because I filmed both of them.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so moving on, the next speaker, we had a couple of different, typical speakers, and then we also had vendors that we came in. And Brad Mortensen, who is a founder of RepCard, came in. And we told the vendors, hey, like, yeah, you can talk about your platform a little bit. That's cool. But like, if you could share something a little bit more inspirational, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Brad did not disappoint.
No.
what's funny is that looking back at his presentation, there were some stuff, a little bit things about Ripcard in there, and he actually did talk about focusing on certain things. But dude, he told this story about his family, and about being able to put his wife and his daughter first, and realizing that he was like in an unintentional way deprioritizing them and prioritizing the business and work over what really mattered most.
Yeah.
Dude, gut punch. Like,
I know.
I'm like behind the camera and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Brad's presentation, I think, for me anyway, that was the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, dude.
When Brad was like, because like, not the main point, but one of the main points that he said was, put your phone in your car. Like when you get home, leave your phone in your car. He said, I have one of my best friends, business partner, and he knows, hey, when I pull up to my house, I'm just going to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
And he leaves, and he said, leave your phone in your car. And dude, that struck so deeply with me. And I think I might have said this before. I don't know, said it on here. Maybe I put it in an Instagram post or something. But after Jess died, I realized that I've been spending so much time on my phone when I should be with my family. Yeah. And so I came up with this idea. Well, I didn't come up with it. I just realized I need to put my phone down. Like how much time do we spend with our families and we're on our freaking phones, answering emails or text messages or just doom scrolling through Instagram, like put your phone down, be present. Yeah. And that was Brad's message. You know?
Yeah. He had this one story where he was, talking about that moment when like, your kid runs up to you and all they want to do is show you something cool,
Yep.
And you're on the phone on like a recruiting call or doing something important, answering an email or whatever, and you do like the finger thing.
Yeah, he said give him the finger.
Yeah, you put your hand out, you put your finger like, hey man, just wait a minute, just give me a second, whatever, I'm doing something important.
Yep.
And he said, dude, those kids, like, they're only going to wait 30 seconds, maybe. Yeah. And then the moment's passed, right? Like all they want to do is show their dad something cool, and your dad's too busy to do it. Dude, I know. Waterworks are starting right now.
Right, and you know what? Kids remember that kind of stuff.
I know, dude. It's so.
Yep, moments are the molecules of eternity, right?
Yeah. So I don't want to give away too much. If you want to see that presentation, so good on bugbucksplus.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up saying that a lot of times, but. Moving on to the next speaker, one of the guys that we've had a lot on the podcast.
Yeah. I'm getting so sick of hearing this guy.
Man, we got to talk about this guy again.
Oh, jeez.
Matt Rogers from Lizard Marketing.
Yeah, our guy.
Dude, the wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah, and you know what? Matt, dude, I freaking love Matt. He is so rad. And when he starts talking about what he does, I swear my brain just kind of... I don't know, turns off or whatever. I don't know, but not turns off. It's just I don't comprehend it.
Well, it's so great that so obviously we use Lizard at Natura, and we've helped kind of help some partnerships and other stuff. Between other people, PCOs that we know and Lizard, and they're a paying BugBus Plus sponsor. But when you hear Matt talk, you go, you know what, dude? I'm so glad that you have the helm when it comes to marketing. Because you are so dialed into all these different things that I don't have the brain capacity or really the time to worry about.
Yeah.
And he's just in it to win it, dude. He's always there paying attention. Like he was talking about how like SEO and paid ads used to be two completely separate things, right? And now they are starting to kind of meld together in a really interesting way. And so he was trying to kind of educate people and let them know, hey, you can't just focus on one or the other anymore. Like you have to be able to know when to invest your time and money into both because they're going to start having an impact on one another.
Yeah, and dude, like you said, I'm so glad that Matt has all that wizard crap behind digital marketing on lock, Yeah. Matt knows that stuff, and I actually really do enjoy hearing Matt talk about it because hearing anybody that's an expert in their field talk about their field is interesting,
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't quite understand what it all means, So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh, and then after Matt was finished I got back up on the stage and I'm like, okay, raise your hand if any of you actually know what Matt is talking about. And no, I don't. Maybe there was one hand that kind of went halfway up, and I was like, see, this is why y'all need a marketing company. Go talk to Matt.
Yeah.
So.
Good marketing company. He mentioned one thing in his presentation that was really cool. Because a lot of times people are always like asking other pest control companies, like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing? And what's your cost per lead? And what's your revenue? And whatever." And Matt said that his dad used to always say, "Focus on your own race car."
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Like in a race, like you can't always be looking at what the other dude's doing. It's like, dude, focus on making your own race car faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like focus on the performance of your own company. It's always UVU, right? So I thought that was just really, really awesome.
Oh, you versus you.
Yeah, you versus you.
Okay, I was like, Utah Valley University.
Like, how did those guys get into this conversation?
Yeah, I used to recruit from there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So really, really good presentation from Matt.
Yeah, that was great. And then you spoke.
I did.
Eric spoke.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a little nerve-wracking.
Was it?
Well, what's funny is
you didn't seem like your nerves were racked at all.
That's because I practiced a lot.
Okay, all right.
But you stand up in front of these guys that you've talked to like over Messenger, and they've listened to the podcast and watched the podcast. But like you're on stage in front of a 100% group of your peers, right? These are all other business owners, pest control owners.
Yep.
And you're trying to tell them this story and express all these business principles. You're never quite too sure exactly how everyone's going to react and respond. But everybody did a killer job supporting me. So big thanks to everybody. I thought it would be really cool to incorporate a conversation about creating a high-level executive team and understanding what those attributes were with a little bit of magic.
Yeah. It was cool. Dude, you had like the card trick up there.
Yeah. We had some volunteers. Shout out to Scott and Tucker and Eric, who were my volunteers on the card trick. And they did the card trick.
Yeah.
They were the ones that touched all the cards and handled everything and moved everything around. And
you walked through it.
Yeah, dude. I showed them how to do it. I delegated the card trick to the volunteers, right, to my executive team, quote unquote.
Yep.
And they did a killer job, and they made the magic happen.
Yeah. No, that was a really cool presentation. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And then at the very end, when they picked your card, like when they picked the card, everybody was like, "Yeah!"
Yeah, like, wow.
You did it.
Yeah, dude, the guy, Scott, the one who was actually in charge of choosing the card from the beginning, like he had it in his mind and couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
At the end of it, he was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this is wild. And he's like, you got to tell me how to do that trick.
You're like, a magician never reveals his
never.
secrets.
And I was like, wait, you got to tell me how you did that trick, man. Like, I didn't do anything. You guys are the ones that did it, So it was a lot of fun, dude. It was so much fun. It'd be really cool to do that same kind of thing again.
Yeah.
With an even bigger crowd.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm glad that what you did really landed.
Yeah.
emceeing the event, I was bringing out some of my best dad jokes, and it was a tough
People
crowd.
giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
You did a good job.
Oh,
you did a solid job as an MC, dude.
It was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoy doing that kind of stuff, But yeah, I guess, they weren't really great dad jokes.
I don't know.
There was some that I thought were pretty good,
Yeah.
But I got a lot of blank stares. But there was a couple of people that were,
giving you some nods and
they
some
give
laughs.
me some nods and some laughs, So I don't know. Maybe next time I'll have to come up with some poems.
Some poems.
Poems. Yeah, some poems.
We're going to take a quick moment to highlight one of the premier sponsors of the BugBucks Plus platform. Navigating the digital landscape of pest control marketing can be overwhelming, but with over 16 years of industry experience, Lizard Marketing knows exactly how to help you dominate your market and outshine the competition. Their team understands the unique challenges of the pest control industry and crafts high-impact SEO strategies, stunning website designs, and laser-focused Google Ads campaigns that don't just bring in leads, they convert them into loyal customers. Lizard Marketing believes that trust, transparency, and partnership are the foundation of success. They don't just just offer marketing services. They build relationships with their clients, working side by side to help them achieve their business goals and grow with confidence. If you're a BugBucks member, mentioning your membership unlocks exclusive savings on their services. And if you're expanding your skills through our online educational platform, you'll gain access to even greater deals to strengthen your digital presence. DM marketing to the BugBucks Podcast Facebook page for more information, or visit lizardmarketing.co today. Mention your affiliations and claim your discounts. With Lizard Marketing's proven expertise and client-first approach, you'll adapt, evolve, and succeed. Now back to the BugBucks Podcast.
So next, after I got done talking, we had Pave coming and talking. It was Taylor.
It was Taylor, yeah.
Yep.
It was going to be Jess, but Jess had a situation, so he had Taylor.
Yep, Taylor came in and spoke. And Pave is really awesome because they talked a lot about technology. And Pave is a vendor. They do both communication and they also do logistics for door-to-door companies.
Right. Yep.
So they do the mapping and area management,
Yeah.
and they've got messaging, and they've got all sorts of cool stuff
Yep.
in their app, like really cool tech. And he was talking about people having a blockbuster mindset.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, as soon as you started talking about that, I was like, "Oh, dude, this is like kind of like mind blowing."
Yeah,
like this is such a great demonstration.
Yeah, like the story of Blockbuster and how when Netflix and Redbox came out, for people who remember Redbox, because that was a thing for a while.
I remember Redbox.
Yeah, right. Like little DVD vending machines. Too.
Yeah. Yep.
They went to Blockbuster and they're like, hey, what do you think? Are you worried about this thing? And Blockbuster's like, nah, we're not worried.
Yeah.
Like, people come to us for the experience and all this other stuff. And then lo and behold,
we're an American institution.
Yeah, right. Like, it's fine. Tech, what's that?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And obviously, like Netflix, has continued to follow the pathway of innovation.
Yep.
And they're doing things now that are, it's like, have you ever seen that meme when it's like a grandma and like the girl's pushing her and the grandma's like, back in my day, we used to get Netflix in the mail. And the girl's like, all right, grandma, let's get you back inside.
Like, yeah, like the old technology just kind of disappears into the mists of time.
Yeah. And he kind of segued into the idea that there's a lot of business owners out there that have a blockbuster mindset. And you have to be able to look beyond what you already know and ask yourself, okay, how could I be improving? What's going on? What new technology is out there that I could implement in my business, which would help me not run into the same problems that Blockbuster did and go out of business?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. I had an experience kind of similar to that, the Blockbuster mindset. So when Jan and I were very, very first married, I worked at Quest, which is now CenturyLink, but back then it was Quest, QWEST. Maybe some of you guys remember Quest. And anyway, I was going to school at Boise State, and I worked in the Quest office building downtown. And at that time, we were selling landlines. We were also selling the Motorola Razr, if you remember that one. And then we were selling DSL. And so at some point during our training, they took us up to meet I don't know what he was, the CEO of Quest West or something like that. Maybe they were headquartered there. I can't remember. But he was like the guy, like the head honcho guy. So they took us up to his big office space, and we all sat around the big conference table. And they said, okay, you can ask any questions you want. And I remember very specifically, I raised my hand and said, everything's going towards cell phones. Like, is our landlines going to become a thing of the past? And he actually got kind of pissed that I asked that question. And his response was something like, no, everybody's always going to need a landline. This world can't work without landlines. Like, dude, that comment did not age very well.
It did not.
Here we are almost 20 years later. And dude, who has even my dad, who, he's like the most technologically inept person that I know. Even my dad has an iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows how to use it, but he has it, right?
Yeah, dude, it took my parents forever to get rid of their landline, but they did.
Yeah.
Like, what's funny is that I still remember all the phone numbers of all my buddies' landlines.
Oh, totally.
Because that's burned into my brain. Yep. But none of them have landlines anymore.
Yeah, 322-7600.
Right?
That was Stonehawker.
Back in the day before you had to put in the stupid area code every time you dial a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, when your brain had the capacity to remember all of those things because it wasn't clogged up with brain rot,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, overall, full circle here. Pave had a killer presentation.
Yep.
And it was Taylor, and he also had another guy with him.
Michael.
Yes.
Yep.
They killed it.
Taylor and Michael.
Really good presentation, really good content. Pave is an awesome platform, dude.
Yeah, Pave's stellar.
Yeah, it's such a killer platform. And obviously the whole point here is they've got great new technology that you can use in your business to kind of take you into the future,
Yep.
right? Don't be, caught being in the past and
Yeah.
dealing with all those
Don't
same
be a
problems.
Blockbuster Quest.
Yeah, don't try to hang on to your landline too long.
Ditch it. Yeah, so then we had Christy Davy.
We
with
did.
Viserys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christy's awesome.
She is awesome, dude.
Yeah, she's
Very
a
cool.
rad chick. I like Christy a lot. Chatting with her was super fun. I kind of sat next to their booth a little bit, while speakers were speaking. So, yeah, she was there with the gal Jackie.
Yeah.
And
yep.
both of them, great. She was talking about inventory management. She's talking about increasing your profitability, increasing efficiency,
Yep.
and just how Viserys can help to make all of those things happen for PCOs. And so she's showing some of the systems that they've got.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it just makes so much sense. We like to believe and trust that, whatever the technicians are saying and what they're putting down on the invoices is accurate,
Right. Yeah. Sure, we're calculating square footage as we reach demand CS. Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah, right. And you look at like the orders over time, like maybe you start to look at the product orders that you make. And if you're smart, you're tracking that over time. Like, that's interesting how my product usage has gone up so much. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
You ask the technicians, hey man, you're not over applying product, are you? Oh, and I would never do that. So when you
Or
have
they look at you and say, over applying? Come on, you're killing me.
What do you mean? I'm supposed to use one jug of house, right? Like what are you talking about? And then of course, we can't even begin to dive into the scenario where you've got technicians that might just be kiping product, just stealing stuff.
Yeah.
Because that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you have an inventory management system, the efficiency goes up because you're always tracking, what products are coming in, what products are going out. You've got more accountability for all of you, obviously your employees and technicians. You can line up what you're seeing on invoices to what products are actually coming in and out, so you know that the product usage on the invoices is accurate.
Right.
I mean, she had the presentation was really concise, really good, and it dove into a lot of different points, really good points about using one. And, for me, I was like, okay, it's a presentation about a inventory management system. That's actually kind of cool. It scratches some itches, but I wasn't expecting it to be super compelling.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
Yeah. Christy nailed it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, she's fun.
Another fantastic presentation that we'll have on the platform for you guys to watch. Lots of good takeaways from that one.
Yeah.
So
after that was Travis Bottoms, our guy Travis Bottoms.
yes, dude.
And
Travis.
Travis talked about branding, and if you have seen, so Travis is nice pest control there in Phoenix area, and his branding is legit.
Yes, it is,
Dude, his truck looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was funny because Travis comes up to me before he starts talking, and he goes, "Dude, I'm so surprised. Like, Hunter reached out to me and was like, hey, dude, can you come talk at our event?" And I told him, dude, I've got like 500 accounts, man. Like, what do you want me to come talk for? So I told Travis, dude, I care more about how you got those accounts than how many of them there are.
Yeah.
And he's like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Because the way that he gets accounts, influencers, but just his branding, like you're talking about, like he's so
Dude, so
intentional.
unconventional.
Yeah.
Super unconventional.
Yeah, like he talked about in his presentation, they combed through their reviews. He went through all these reviews.
At a previous pest control company. Yeah.
And he was looking for keywords, like things that people talked about. And it wasn't like, oh, yeah, they killed my bugs, or they really, destroyed my ants, or whatever language you'd expect someone to say, right? Like, they killed those bugs dead.
Yeah.
But it was over and over again, they were saying, oh, those technicians were so nice.
Nice.
People on the phone were nice.
Yep.
Like, it was about how they made them feel, And Travis is like, yep, I know what I'm going to name my company, dude.
Yeah. Well, and something that he said that really stood out, he said branding isn't just a logo or a name, it's the feeling people get about your company.
Oh, so good.
And how true is that? Because when you think about your brand, right, you think about your branding, what's the first thing you think about? Well, we got to think about the logo and the name and what colors are we going to use and how are we going to wrap our rigs and all that stuff. But do you ever think about how your company makes people feel?
Yeah. Dude, it's got to be, and he said in his presentation, I can't remember the exact quote, but something to the effect of branding is the most underutilized growth method
Yeah.
in pest control.
Yep.
Because people just assume you're like, okay, green, that seems like a good color,
Yeah.
right? And I'll put an IX on the end of it,
Yeah.
or a Serve, or a Pro, or a whatever, and
Yep.
we'll call it good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, he's so intentional about the message that his brand has.
Mm-hmm.
And his whole presentation, I think he named it "People Over Pests." Is that what it was?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
So solid,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, Travis did such a great job.
Killed it.
I remember one of the other things that he said too was, he did a crap ton of like research, like he studied this out, and he showed that 88% of decision makers when it comes to pest control are women.
Yeah.
And so, do women care about you saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to slaughter your ants. We're going to kill the bugs"? Like, dude, that's not what. Right? No, it's not. It's not what it's about. It's about being nice and
Yes.
approachable and friendly and trustworthy, right? So Travis nailed all of those elements in his branding, and the information that he put out to the PCOs there at BugBucksCon was highly valuable.
So
as
good,
far as
dude.
branding goes.
So good.
Yeah.
Next, we ended up having kind of a cool, almost like live podcast situation between Alan Draper.
And Cam Bodden. Yeah,
dude.
that was great.
Yeah, they were really good. Cam, obviously, the owner of Green Mango Pest Control, which you guys probably know. You guys have seen. They're over in the Phoenix area. And he was asking Cam questions about his exit recently to Pesco, right? Which was really cool because, dude, you have this big behemoth of a brand. I mean, they just have the coolest branding. And you're wondering, okay, dude, what does an exit look like for you guys? And he was talking about how, at least in that scenario, he was able to kind of make an exit, and there was still some opportunities for a little bit of involvement, but he still had plenty of free time to focus on what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Financially, obviously, gave him some assets to work with. But it was just a cool opportunity to see a little bit behind the scenes on what some of these acquisitions look like.
Yeah, totally. And, something that he said was so cool. He said that his dad told him, if you have to have it, it'll have you.
Oh, right.
What
Yeah.
a powerful message.
Yeah, well, he was talking about how, like, going into the, whatever you call them, deliberations or due diligence, whatever, with Pesco, he just kind of, hey, it's business as usual. Like, I need to be able to operate my business and assume that this probably isn't going to work out, because if it doesn't, I still have a business to run.
Right.
But if it does, then great, right? So when he was talking about that thing from his dad, he was just saying, dude, like, I can't bank on this. And I think it's important because I think most pest control guys, like Cam said at the beginning of his presentation, like, I'm never going to sell this thing, like, I'm going to retire and whatever. And that's a great thought, but sometime it might come up that you actually do want and or need to sell. And in that kind of scenario, the last place you want to be is feeling like you have to.
Right.
You have to sell.
Yep.
And it's the only opportunity that you have.
Yep.
Because in that situation, things could get kind of dicey.
Right, yeah. And then you start making concessions that you wouldn't normally make because it'll have you, right? Like, it's got you by the neck. Fingernails, whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah. One other thing that Cam said that really struck me was, he said, when it came out that I was going to sell Green Mango, he said, I thought that my employees were going to hate me. Something like that. He's like, I thought everybody's going to be pissed at me, for selling, maybe feel abandoned or whatever. But he said it was the opposite. Like, people were really excited for him. Like, his people were really excited for him. They were happy that he was gonna be able to get what he wanted out of it, and he was happy that his people, Pesco, was going to take care of his people.
Yep.
He said that was one thing he wanted to make sure of, and so I think that for me that was a bit of a mental shift too, because I would think that if you have a big company like that, if you sell the company, your people are going to feel maybe a little abandoned or slighted,
Yeah.
but that wasn't the case for Cam. So I think that is really cool. Hats off to Cam for being able to have that transition that way.
Yeah, dude,
awesome.
it was great, and him and Alan went back and forth and kind of went through a lot of those situations. So if you guys want more information on that exit, like Cam's experience, That one's fantastic.
Well, and seeing those two powerhouses sitting up there having a conversation, you're like, oh, I feel like I'm witnessing something really magical here.
Yeah, it really was kind of that like
Serious.
live podcast element. It was
You got Cam
really
Bodden
cool.
and Alan Draper like having a conversation about that.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool.
Yeah.
2 titans in the industry. It was awesome.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And then next, we ended up having a video presentation for Volt.
Yep, from Josh.
From Josh.
Yeah, Josh couldn't be there. He was in Florida at the PES conference there. But yeah, Volt is awesome. So his presentation is just talking about what Volt is and where it's going. And so Volt is, if you watched the podcast a few episodes ago, Josh Zuniga was on the podcast. But yeah, Volt is an inside sales company for pest control companies. So, I mean, essentially the gist is you're paying for marketing, you're getting inbound leads, and you're paying sometimes a premium for those. And you might not have a really great office staff that's really great at selling or closing leads. Your office staff is great at handling customer complaints and reschedules and credit cards and those kinds of things. But when it comes to sales, maybe they're not the best.
Yep.
So Volt is hiring, like the whole inside sales department is former door-to-door reps who have the experience selling pest control door-to-door. So they've got all of that already. And then the other thing is, once you've sold pest control door-to-door, everybody who's ever sold door-to-door knows that making a sale is like getting a hit of dopamine.
Yes.
I mean, it's like
Oh,
it's like
definitely.
taking a drug, right? Every time you make that sale, you get this dopamine rush, and it feels good. And so imagine having guys like that, guys and girls like that, who have experience, who are hungry, you know. And as Josh has said before, it's like throwing meat to a dog.
Yes.
You know, those sales reps are hungry for it.
Oh, yeah.
So that was really, really cool. We're excited to be a part of Volt. We're excited to have Volt as a vendor partner.
Yep.
And, you know, Volt's launch date is April 1st. So, you know, we're onboarding a lot of pest control companies. So if that's something that you're interested in, how do we get a hold of us?
They can, if they actually send a DM to the Bug Bucks Podcast Facebook page, and the DM is Inside Sales, then the automation will actually gather all their information and send it directly to Josh.
Dude, that's crazy.
Wild, huh?
Man, technology. Wow. Blown away.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. Volt's super cool. Shout out if you guys are watching on YouTube. I've got a Volt sticker on my shaker ball.
Yeah, I didn't even grab a Volt sticker either.
Sucka! Yeah, I got a Volt sticker, dude. I got Volt sticker on this side, my Bug Bucks Con, and of course my Zona Pest Solutions.
Oh, dude, Zona. Yeah,
shout out to Billy and Taylor.
Yeah, Billy was there.
Yep, Billy was there, and Taylor was at home with their little baby, dude.
Oh, did they have a baby?
Yeah, super cute little baby, man.
Oh,
so
man.
cute.
You know what? Yeah, you know what we should, if you have a baby, throw your baby pictures on the Bug Bucks
100% do
on
it.
the Bug Bucks Facebook.
We should order a bunch of Bug Bucks Plus onesies.
Oh yeah,
And then whenever someone
onesies?
whenever someone has a baby, we'll just send them a little care package.
I love it.
That'd be super cool. Dude. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So okay, after Volt,
hey, if we have a vendor that wants to sponsor the Bug Bucks onesie,
dude,
then,
sponsor the Bug Bucks babies. Oh my gosh, that would be so killer.
Wouldn't it? That'd be great.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay. After Josh, we had Aaron Cooper with Same Day.
Same Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, what's cool about this is that, so we've had Same Day as a partner vendor for a while. And we hung out with Same Day at Pest World, which was awesome.
Yeah, those guys were great.
So I know that they could party. I was like, dude, this is going to be so great having you guys at our event. And when Aaron Cooper went up there, he said, hey, like, I don't just want to talk about Same Day, like my platform. I want to talk about the overall impact that AI has on our industry.
Right, yeah.
Which was really refreshing. Like, Aaron always has a really refreshing take on technology, which is cool. And just some of the stuff that he talked about, I was like, wow, dude, like, this is starting to make so much sense.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick moment to highlight one of the premier sponsors of the Bug Bucks Plus platform. Are you running a pest control business and worried about missing sales opportunities? Let's talk about Same Day AI, the game-changing virtual sales agent designed specifically for the pest control industry. This innovative tool uses advanced artificial intelligence to ensure no potential customer slips through the cracks. What's really impressive about Same Day AI is how it integrates seamlessly with Field Routes and other top CRMs. It doesn't just quote, it schedules new customers directly onto your routes, optimizing your workload without missing a beat. I've seen it in action, and it is truly a sight to behold. The efficiency is incredible. Bookings go up and stress goes down. For any pest control business looking to enhance their sales strategy and boost customer engagement, Same-Day AI is your answer. Transform your approach and elevate your service with the efficiency that only AI can provide. Trust me, you'll see the difference. Visit GoSameDay.com to learn more and start revolutionizing your business today. We're going to take a quick moment to highlight one of the premier sponsors of the BugBucks Plus platform. Are you a pest control operator that's paying for inbound leads for services that you don't offer or are outside your service area? How would you like to be able to get paid for referring those leads to other companies, all while getting high-quality referrals in return? If you're getting calls for jobs you can't take on, Baton has you covered. With Baton, you can easily refer those callers to other trusted companies and get paid for it. It's super simple. Just create your profile to show what services you offer and where, then start referring leads to more than 500 of Baton's vetted partners, all while getting exclusive, high-converting leads referred back to you in return. Every referral you submit not only gets you paid, but also increases your chances of getting referrals from other companies. And don't worry, every Baton partner pledges not to steal or poach your existing customers in need of other services that you don't provide. With Baton handling the transaction, you can know that customers you refer are in good hands. For BugBucks Plus subscribers, there are no onboarding or membership fees. Plus, you can get up to $400 in free referral credits just for being a subscriber to the BugBucks Plus platform. Give referrals, and get paid. Join Baton today. Go to bugbucksplus.com/Baton to get started.
Something that just like a little snippet from Aaron's talk, he talked about like some of the other inbound lead sources, and he talked about Thumbtack in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Thumbtack gets about 1,800 requests per month for pest control. And he said we've got the numbers: 14 responded within 24 hours, 5 companies within 5 hours, and 1 or 2 within an hour. So it's only like 20 companies that are responding to these Thumbtack messages, right? So 14 of those responded within a day,
dude,
and only 1 or 2 were within an hour. So what he was saying was the response time is crucial to closing your leads.
Yes.
And he said, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars going to companies with the best response time, and they might not even really be the best at pest control. They're just faster. So here they are getting the leads.
Yeah, dude, there was I think he put a number up there. It was like over $800,000 was going to these pest control companies, like 1 or 2 pest control companies that had the best response time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it blows my mind that what ends up being the bottleneck for your business to grow in that situation is the difference between answering the phone in 5 minutes or answering the phone in an hour or 5 hours, right? Or, like getting back to a lead the next day, or a day after, painful, dude.
That gives me an upset stomach just thinking about that.
Yeah, and he was talking about just having an AI platform that can respond to those instantly, right? Like AI doesn't take breaks, it doesn't take lunches, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't take vacation, there's no holidays.
Yet.
So, right?
Until they take over, then, and we're doing all the work for AI. We're their
robots'
slaves.
rights, bro. Robots' rights.
That's right.
Labor laws. Yeah, dude. So
my mechanics, my choice.
Exactly. There you go.
Right?
Oh my gosh, can't get too political in here.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot. Okay, we'll fix that in post.
No, we won't. We're gonna leave that in there. It was just cool to see how much AI has evolved over the years. He talked about that, and just the impact that it has on the business. Like some people are using it for a little bit of SEO stuff. Some people are using it for customer letters and customer communications, for emails.
Yeah.
And now you have it for sales and response time, and obviously Same Day does voice sales over the phone and customer service.
Yep.
There's just so many applications now. If you're not using some type of AI in your business, you are falling behind.
Well, Aaron even said, by show of hands, who's using AI? And half the room raised their hands.
Yeah.
So, if you're not using AI, start using AI.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Then we talked. Then Lenny Gray. Dude, we had some freaking powerhouses in the industry there. Lenny Gray, quite possibly the most famous door knocker. He's like the Michael Jordan of door knockers.
Yep.
Maybe the Larry Bird. He's a Larry Bird of door knockers.
He has so much history And you know what's really cool about Lenny is that he preaches knocking doors with a high level of integrity. Right? He's like, dude, you don't have to lie, cheat, and steal to make sales.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about his message.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And it was cool because he got up and he's like, hey, listen, I talk about door-to-door sales all the time. If you really want to talk door-to-door sales, like I do a free webinar, you know, once a month or whatever, just come watch that.
Yeah.
But today what I want to talk to you guys about is like these other life lessons that I've learned along the way, and like some of those stories that he shared that were just really powerful, dude.
Yeah. He talked about the ABCs of his ABCs of life.
Yes.
The first one was, he said, apologize even when it's not necessary.
Yeah, dude.
And he told the story. He was knocking with was it a roofing guy last month, and the lady answered the door and she's pissed. You woke up my baby. And the sales rep said something like, well, you didn't have a sign, or how was I supposed to know, or something like that. Oh. And so Lenny was like, let me show you how to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so then he showed, you know, he replayed that scenario, said, oh, ma'am, I am so sorry. That's got to be the worst thing. You must hate me right now. I have kids myself, and I know how important nap time is, and being disturbed by nap time, you know, like I know that kind of throws your whole day off. Is there anything that I can do to make this better? I'm so sorry. And then, you know, then usually the customer comes back and says, oh, no, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have, you know, then they're apologizing to you, right?
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, man. Like just being able to take somebody from a place of being combative to a place of like they're on your side now, right? Yeah. And on the doors, I mean, how useful is that, right? So
you need every tool that you can get.
Yeah, every tool. Yeah. And then the other one, so he has the ABCs, right?
B was bad things happen to good people.
Yes, dude. Yeah. Such a powerful thing. I mean, and it was cool that he kind of went on to explain that it's kind of necessary. It's part of life, you know? Like, you know, you're trying to avoid bad things this whole time, but part of life is learning from the bad stuff that happens to you.
Yeah, and, you know, he said, I bet if we went around this room, everybody has something bad that's happened to them, and you hear other people's bad stuff, and, you know, no one would want to trade places with anybody in the room, you know? And so I think that's a powerful lesson. That's a powerful message. Yes. Everybody's got stuff.
Yep.
Everybody's got their own crisis or tragedy.
Yeah, everyone's been through it.
Everyone's been through it. Yeah.
And then his C was consider gratitude.
I consider gratitude.
Right?
Yeah.
So cool, dude. He was talking about his mom, and I think it was a maid, like a cleaning service.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
And he was like, dude, it didn't matter what time of night or day that somebody called on their landline, right?
Yeah.
She would just pick up the phone. And it sounded like she had been up for hours, you know, ready and willing to go. Like, oh, hey, like, how can I help you?
Yep.
Right? Like, always be grateful for what you have. And it's just, dude, the combination of those three things, you know, like, hey, like, apologize even when it's not necessary. And bad things happen to good people. Like, be prepared to that. And just be thankful. Like, consider gratitude.
Yeah.
You know, be thankful for what goes on in your life and what you have.
Dude, you know, so here's the thing. So many times you hear messages and you think, wow, that's really great. But what happens when you really actually apply the things you hear, you know? Like, people can, like Lenny Gray says, these things can change your life, right? Yep. Just do these 3 ABCs and it can change your life. And you say, wow, yeah, that's really great. But what happens if you actually apply them?
Yeah, dude.
What happens if you actually put your pride away and apologize, even when it's not your fault? What happens when you recognize, you know, bad things are going to happen?
Yeah.
And to good people. And what happens when you actually live life with an attitude of gratitude? Yeah, what happens? What happens in your life, you know?
Test it. Go do it and test it out.
Try it out.
Like, people aren't just blowing smoke when they say this stuff. And it's cool to have a guy like Lenny Gray up there, because usually he's talking about, hey, here's the technical part of knocking doors. Like, here's how you can be successful. But he's really now kind of teaching us about the mindset of how to be the most effective person that you can be.
Totally.
So, such a cool one, dude. We after Lenny, we ended up having a Bug Bucks panel, which was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Did answer a lot of really cool questions. We might put that content up on the platform. Maybe not.
You know what? On the next Bug Bucks con, I think that we need to do some more panels.
Yeah.
Because that was really great. When we had a vendor panel earlier in the day.
Yep.
And so all of the vendors were up there, and that was a great panel.
Super killer, dude.
Super great conversations. Same with the Bug Bucks panel.
Yeah.
You know, great questions, great comments.
Yep. And it was just a good opportunity for our kind of community to just ask questions directly to all of us live.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this before. We had actually never all been in the same place at the
all at
same
once.
time,
Yeah.
except for this one thing.
Yeah.
That was crazy to me.
Right?
Yeah.
We've been
you,
partners for
Jana,
how
Alan,
long?
Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's wild. Well, it's hard when one of us is in the Pacific Northwest and one of us is in Idaho, and one of us is in, well, I guess 2 in the Northwest, 1
Yep.
in Idaho, 2 in Arizona. Yeah. It's just, we don't always line up.
yeah, so seeing all of us seated there, answering questions and talking, it was just really cool.
We all would have been at Pest World if we hadn't had that near mutiny in the office and Jana had to stay behind to put the fires out.
Upcoming Pest World, we will be there.
Yes,
It'll
we'll
be
all be
awesome.
there. Yeah.
So, and then last speaker we had, which was absolutely not least by far, you spoke, dude.
Yeah, I did. I had a funny thing that I was going to say before I spoke, but I totally forgot because I was rushed, like getting my computer plugged in and stuff. But my thing, because I read an introduction for every single speaker, right? Like introducing the person and what they're doing and yada. And it's like a long introduction.
Yeah.
So for me, I was going to say, and now for our last speaker, ladies and gentlemen, a man who needs no introduction. And then I was just going to turn around and start doing the presentation.
It's like at the end of speeches when I say, and this will be the last thing I say, and then I just walk off the stage.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So I thought that'd be funny, but you know, with the way that my jokes were landing, I don't know that it would have made a difference.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, I don't know.
We'll
I
try.
think it would have been good.
Yeah, but yeah. So I talked about. I told a story. Actually, I told 2 stories. I told the story about my dad, my dad's family immigrating to the United States from Holland. How my dad was born in Holland during the Nazi occupation, and their family went through hell, basically.
Yeah, dude.
And then immigrated to the United States. And you know, my dad he's got a legacy. You know, he said if you live in Boise, Idaho, you know who Hans Klaus is. Hans Klaus is a freaking legend. You know.
Yeah.
And so then I talked about us starting our company, and you know, obviously we didn't have to deal with any Nazi occupations, but it was a struggle when we first started our business. We were broke, Jan was pregnant and sick, and you know, all this stuff. And anyway, I don't know if I want to give the story away.
Don't give all the details.
I won't give the story away, but I had a, I guess you could call it a miraculous moment, where some things really came full circle, and anyway, it was a big moment for me when that thing happened. I'll leave it at that. If you want to have the full story, I guess, is that going to go on Bug Bucks Plus?
Yours? I want to, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to put it on.
We've got
there.
to clean up the audio a little bit
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I was
it'll
on
be
a
good.
mic and not an ear mic. But the message was believe in where you are, believe that you are building your own legacy, and what was it? Leave a name worth remembering.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
Super powerful.
Yeah, that's
and you know, yours along with a few others got the waterworks going.
oh
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I think that's one thing that was really cool about Bug Bucks Con is that there was a lot of really awesome, actionable content that you could learn, but there was so much deeper content there.
Oh, yeah.
Connection with people that kind of poured their heart out and shared stories of sacrifice. And you know, you're laughing and then you're crying, you know, and then you're like,
and then you're
like,
throwing
wow.
rotten tomatoes at the MC on stage.
For ridiculous dad jokes, dude.
Yeah.
But overall, man, such an awesome turnout.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
we
great.
loved it. We can't wait to do it again.
Yep.
We've got plans for another one where we're not going to tell you when yet, but
Yeah.
we'll keep you guys
TBD,
updated.
TBA.
Yep, TBD. And again, of course, you know, if you want the full scope of all of this awesome content that we had hosted at BugBucksCon, the best way to get that is to go on bugbucksplus.com, subscribe, and you'll have access to all of that content along with all of our educational content too. So if you feel like you want to get a good deal on that, hit me up. We'll get you a
Just
sweet
do it.
promo
Yeah,
code.
Yeah. Yep.
Be awesome. So anyway, we appreciate you guys taking the time to listen in. If you have a coworker, a manager, or a owner who could benefit from listening to this episode, the best way to say thank you to us is to share this episode with them. If you haven't joined the Facebook groups yet, go find the groups and join. It's BugBucks Plus. Lots of information and great connections there. And if you have a topic that you want discussed here on the show, drop it in the group. As always, this episode is brought to you by BugBucks Plus, the #1 training and education platform designed to help you build and scale your pest control company. Visit bugbucksplus.com to sign up and start building today.
Oh, and hit subscribe. Just do it.
Yeah, already. Come
Subscribe
on.
to the
Let's
podcast.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Thanks again for listening in, and until next time, keep building those pest control companies.
You're listening to the Bug Bucks Podcast, hosted by Eric Bassett and Jake Klaus.